Good evening, everyone. I'm Rowan, this is Graham, Gilly and Max. We've both come here with a slightly different approach. This is our first hackathon. We're product designers. Max is lead innovation at Lloyd's TSB, and obviously Gilly is our data man, developer and all that. So what today we're going to present to you is Concept Pi. So yeah, if you want to switch to the next slide. So what was the existing problem that we found Concept Pi could solve? So I'm going to pass you over to Gilly. Gilly's going to have a bit of a talk about the data.
Yeah, man. So the data we are looking at is not just these people, but it's everything. So living your life generates data. You get Nectar card points, you get Holland and Barrett points, you get airline miles, you get Oyster card balances, and you've got your bank balance and everything else that you do. And each of these data sources are so disparate, they're not connected together, and there are some things which aggregate it. And we can write software which aggregates these things together. In fact, we have written some software which aggregates some of this stuff together. And what we're going to present to you is what we can do when we have all your life and all your data together, and how we can demonstrate it back to you, and how we can do it in such a pretty and attractive and engaging manner that hasn't been done before. So the data we used is the data that you generate from living your life, and what we're going to show to you is the artwork which we created from it. So passing on some of the problems with the existing handling of the data and how you deal with it, from Max.
Thanks very much. So this is the picture as we see it now. Just I want to show you how dull, tedious, extensive, time-consuming all this data is to consume. So it's really dry, but at the same time, we shouldn't really knock it too hard. It survived for centuries, the basic list type statement. But nonetheless, we feel there's a hell of a lot of room for improvement. I think we made a big shift towards it this weekend by getting away from the simple black and white story. So hopefully the statement is dead, and these guys will show you why.
Cool. Yeah, brilliant. So what was the opportunity that we saw? We saw that we could use very big data, which Gilly could pull in. We could unify these aggregated sources of information and finance, and essentially we could remove numbers in banking. Dum, dum, dum. So, what is the solution? So we're going to play a short video which is relating to Pi, which is banking beautiful. So I'm going to pass you now over to Graham. So this video is very much about the look and feel of how we could see banking changing from this very numerical based, sort of quite sterile experience into a real emotive stuff. So I'll pass you over to Graham.
Yeah, so basically, left, sorry, I'm dyslexic, hang on, there we go. No, that's right, isn't it? Okay, yeah. We came up with the idea on the weekend. The first thing we chatted with Gilly on the first night was go, okay, what if we can translate finance information into pixels. So if your currency was a pixel, what would that mean? So start of the month, August, new month, no purchase, big balance, win. Because that is my balance. If we go back, I've not spent anything. World's my oyster. If we go move to the next thing, July, I got my utilities, my groceries, my bills, my social, my travel. But the point I want to bring up here is that mobile banking and all these new apps are making banking really accessible. But accessible banking is not necessarily really good, because I might be on the tube checking my loan or seeing how much money I owe to the bank. And if someone looks over my shoulder, it's kind of, I feel really insecure and I think, oh, this is not really a good place for it. But the banking guy's like, yeah, you can check your finances on the go, it's all right. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not really a millionaire. It's not, it's not really a cool thing to do. So if we move to the next slide, we were, okay, so you've got this idea of no numbers. You can understand the proportion of your bank balance, but it's okay. Those nights that you come back from a massive night out and you think, oh, I've got to look at my bank balance, and you go look at it and it'll be £200 and that's it. It'll be £200 that you've smashed one night. So for what we've got example here is Bestival. So I went to Bestival, and because I spent a lot of money in there, it's the biggest thing in my social area. So that's why it's so big. And then this little thing we got here is called Sneaker Peek. So I'm on a tube and I can see Bestivals like that, but I want to see how much I've spent. I put my finger on Bestival and drag down, and my figures pop up. But then Max is a bit nosy. He goes, oh, that's quite cool. And I go, oh, crap, let go. That disappears because I don't want him to see my finances. Again, I went eating out. I went to Byron. I had a date. It was pretty good. And then, and then there was one night I went out. I went home by myself and had a KFC. So, so we'll move to the next slide. So that is the social month aspect. So we'll go to the next bit.
It's worth saying as well that with this we can now pull in we can now pull in social media information into your bank statement. So what you've got there, rather than just being now, rather than existing being a number, you're now bringing an experience into your bank account. You're bringing an experience which sort of evokes a better emotion and all that.
Yeah, the way we like to describe it is sweet and sour. So you see the really enjoyable thing you did. So you had the festival, you had some tweets and maybe some music plays, but then you actually see the damage that weekend caused. So again, so finances is also about what you spend, but it's also about the time you spend in. So we're thinking about how can you make it really interesting to move between time scales. So with month is the first thing you see is like start of the month, this is all the space I've got. And you do this by pinching. So you pinch within the app. So I'll zoom into a week. So how can we make a week more rich than a month? So you might have less payments than a month, so you make it more visual. So we're going to have a look at my grocery shop. So we're going to have a little click of the groceries. And I'm a big fan of Waitrose. And it's not just the scale of my summary of my account, it's also the things I've bought. So I had a slap-up steak dinner because my date went really well from Byron. So she came round again, and I made her a steak dinner. So I thought, you know, it can't be Lidl, it's got to be Waitrose. So I bought the big steak, got a tub of ice cream, you know, dessert, bottle of wine, asparagus, because I'm cultured. And so the idea behind all this is more understanding the scale of it. So the DNA of our thing is about scale and proportion, not just having a figure there. It's about, from an instant, I can go, that steak cost me a lot, but it doesn't have to say £8 or £12 or £20. So I'll move on to that. So the next thing is day. So instantly, the day is the most visual out of all. So month is about blocks, week is about integrating small visuals, and then day is about super visual. So today I started the day. So typical working day, you get a tube to work, you might get coffee, and then at lunch you've went to Pret and you bought a crayfish salad, and you realise that your current balance of that day, you're getting closely, and then maybe a Thursday night that there's no balance there because you went out and got pretty smashed. So, and then after all that, we thought, okay, you can move between all these things, but then how do you review it? And the easy way we do that is by simply turning your device that you've got. So this way is about diving in, and that way is about review. So if you're in a week or a month or a day, I twist my device and I can see all the days of the month, or all the weeks in a month, or all the months in a year by simply just twisting the device. So yeah, I'll pass you back to Aaron to finish us off.
Yep. So essentially, that is our concept pie, and I hope what we've shown you and described to you has sort of shown a step towards making banking beautiful.
Because that's what it is now. And
yeah, sorted. Yeah, no problem.
I'd love to do one thing is just add a little summary. I think a bank statement, your finances look better done as a photo diary. Is how I think of this. And I'd love to check quickly, if this was available, would you use it?
Can you please make it? Yeah.
That's great. Thanks very much again.
Do you all work for Lloyd?
No.
Designers, he's Lloyd.
I'm doing startup. I've got an idea now.
So that's Pi.